This episode is sponsored by FX's Fleischman is in Trouble, starring Jesse Eisenberg, Claire Danes, Lizzie Kaplan, and Adam Brody. This drama tells the story of recently divorced Toby Fleischman, who dives into the world of app-based dating with the kind of success he never had in his youth. Then, his ex-wife disappears, leaving him with their 2 children and no hint of her return. FX's Fleischman is in Trouble, streaming November 17th only on Hulu.
Hey there, I'm Tyler, the host of Wake Me Up, the only guided morning routine podcast. No matter how you'd like to start your day, Wake Me Up has something for everyone. Whether you'd like a calming meditation, some easy yoga and stretching to wake your body, or an inspirational talk to get you motivated for the day, you can find all of it on Wake Me Up. So trade the snooze button for an episode of Wake Me Up and see how your days change. Just search Wake Me Up in your favorite podcast player.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal. Jeff, Ken, how are you today?
Hello.
Well caffeinated. How are you?
I'm going to be extra sultry today because I'm a little under the weather here.
You are a little under the weather, and is there a reason why your voice is gone?
Yeah, so I went to the coffee conglomerate and I ordered like a fancy drink and they put strawberry syrup on it instead of caramel syrup and I had to scream at the barista.
Oh, that's not good.
That's why. No, not really. I just had a little cold and then I was out at a gathering and I had to kind of speak loudly and my voice kind of went after that, so.
Did you carry a big stick or small stick, or whatever that phrase is?
What's that?
Yes, he now carries a big stick.
Speak loudly and carry a big stick, isn't that the quote?
Yeah.
Softly.
Yeah. Speak loudly, right?
Softly.
Softly.
Well, speaking of someone speaking loudly and not speaking loudly today, Matt's not here.
Nope.
Matt is actually at SporkleCon, which is going on this weekend of September 25th.
Yeah, at time of recording.
And he's helping represent the show over there. So thank you, Matt, for doing that. And hopefully everyone over there is having a great time. And to our friends at SporkleCon, we were going to appear at the SporkleCon in Vegas, I believe it was, in 2020. But the invitation must have gotten lost in the mail for the 2022 event. But hopefully it will not get lost in the mail. Maybe next time. Because we would love to be there. And we had our bags packed, but it's okay. That's what happens.
Is that the first time we've actually said where someone is and it's been legitimate? I feel like we just always make it up.
I think it is, but Matt is actually not doing anything at SporkleCon. He's in the bubble room right now.
Just enjoying.
Yeah, he's making bubbles at the bubble room. So if you want to go to the bubble room to make some bubbles with Matt. Yeah, they do.
I wasn't invited?
Well, I know. It's a shame. But to make up for Matt not being
hold on here. Before we move on, I think congratulations are in order to one of our people in the studio here.
Oh, yeah. Jeff, thank you. Congratulations for drinking some coffee.
This is delicious coffee you've
Neal.
made.
Neal is engaged to be married.
Oh, yes, I
to
am.
Colleen. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So happy for you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a fun weekend. I'll dissect what happened on the September 2022 crop drop. So
there you go.
If you want to hear the full story, you got to join Patreon.
You got to join Patreon to hear it.
You got to join Patreon to hear the story.
Or wait until he tells it on the regular podcast.
I'm sure
inevitably.
He's
a
few years of stories behind right now, though. So
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to. I think I've gotten past high school, or maybe I'm into high school. I don't remember.
I think we're almost out of the college years.
Yes. So now it's adult.
So it's about to get good.
Yeah, it's about 20 years still to go.
It's going to get more embarrassing because I'm an adult. So everything that happens to me should not happen to an adult.
Right.
But we have some special guests here that are going to be making up for the absence of Matt. Our first guest coming to us from West Bloomfield, Michigan, right outside of Detroit, Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon, Jeff Foust. How are you, Jeff?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for joining us today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then who you're going to partner today with and the team name?
Sure. I am a full-time business intelligence account manager for a property management software, but I do a lot of other things part-time. So I'm a part-time accounting professor at Oakland Community College. I am a part-time community theater actor, and I'm also a part-time podcaster.
Oh, wonderful. And I remember you were telling me about your show. Would you like to plug it here to have folks check it out?
I absolutely would. So the show that I write and host is called BeQuiz I Said So. It is a knowledge and trivia podcast made for kids. So it's early elementary, probably through early middle school. Sometimes the questions are a little harder. Sometimes they're a little bit easier. It's a quick 10-minute episode, usually once a week.
All right, so we'll cancel Triviality Junior.
Yeah, right, because we have someone doing it.
We were kicking that around.
We were. I was going to ask you, Jeff,
Great
maybe
idea.
we can invite you back for the October Patreon bonus, and we'd love for you to give us questions for elementary kids just to see if we could actually get them one-on-one.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
All right, we'll make sure to do that for our patrons.
We're doing our version of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Yes, exactly. And Jeff, who you're going to partner with today, and what is your team name? We like this one.
So I've decided, because I like game shows and I like puns, I decided to partner up with Jeff today, and we are going to be Double Jefferdy.
Perfect.
Wonderful name.
In that case,
very much approving of this team name.
Mm-hmm.
in that case, me and Neil will be the weakest links.
We will be the weakest links.
But links is spelled like the big cat.
Right.
So we're just a very feeble cat.
And the lynx is one of the weakest cats because it's not as strong as the jaguar.
Sure. But to play, we need a host.
We need a host, and thankfully from our friend Caitlin Joyce Sine, who recommended we meet this person, and we are super excited that we did. Coming to us from Cary, North Carolina, right outside of Raleigh, is Megan Munson. How are you, Megan?
Great. How are y'all?
Great. Did I said it right? Raleigh?
Raleigh, that's correct.
Okay. Halfway through, I was getting very insecure. I was like, wait a minute. But anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself, and we love that you're wearing a Triviality crop top that the listeners can't see, but thank you for wearing that.
Of course, I had to represent. My name is Megan Munson. I am a middle school English teacher here in Cary. I'm recently engaged as well, so congrats to you, Neil, and let the wedding planning begin.
And you?
Congrats to you as well.
Very fun. Thank you. My fiance Ryan is downstairs watching after our dog Lily and watching football, so they're having a blast themselves.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you wrote a game for us today, which we're super excited to play. And did you want to give a quick shout out to your trivia team before we get started, who helped you play test?
Yeah, so our group of friends, our trivia team helped me play test this game. Our name is Team Redundancy Team, so shout out to them. We play every week at Raleigh Brewing Company in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Wonderful. And right before we get started, any preference on the rules read today?
Classic.
All right, so we're going to go to Darren, and let's see what kind of new voices Darren can bring us today.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop.
Darren, thank you for doing the rules read in the sound of a horse. We appreciate it.
What does that mean?
Well, it's like a horse language. It's like, I don't know, just like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's like whale noises, but horse.
Just horses. Do
you not speak the horse tongue?
I don't.
Before we get going, just want to say a shout out to our friend Paul Lawler from Ireland. He was recently in town, and we weren't able to meet up with him, but he asked for some recommendations of Chicago for hot dogs and food, beef, pizza, all that good stuff. And we gave him a long list. We hope you had a good time, Paul. Speaking of hot dogs, a lot of people consider Chicago to have the best hot dogs. And in honor of the hot dogs and the sausages, I was going to say sausages, but I tried to switch my accent. All the sausages. We got to know how the sausage is made. So let's throw the game over to Megan and Ken.
Let's make that sausage.
Let's make that sausage.
All right. Question 1 in the category of European capitals. Valletta is the capital of what small island Mediterranean nation?
I think we're good.
I'm all set. Yeah.
So small island nation, Valletta.
Did you say Mediterranean?
Yes.
Okay.
What about Crete?
So we got 3. Yeah, we got basically 3 options. Cyprus, Crete, I think is one. And I'm trying to catch Jeff's eye here. I can't remember what the third one is.
I'm trying to remember Cyprus because Paul Hollywood, who I love from Great British Bake Off, he did a show where he was in Cyprus. He used to be a baker there, and they did a show in the capital. I'm just trying to remember if Valletta is the capital of Cyprus.
I'm going to let you make the call.
I was actually talking to Angie about this just the other day. We started watching another series of Bake Off.
Yeah.
And Paul Hollywood mentioned a type of Cypriot food. And I said, Neil actually once pulled the capital of Cyprus out of his butt on the show.
I don't think it was Valletta.
I don't think it was.
Let's say Crete.
I like it. Let's say Crete.
I believe Crete is a Greek isle. But Jeff, you seem to know this right away. And I think we're on the same page. So
Yeah, I think we are too. It's how I like my liquor or my alcohol, Malta.
Yeah, Malta is correct. Nice job.
Well,
So it's going to be.
yeah. And so is Crete even in the right range?
It's in the right place.
yeah, it's in the Mediterranean. I just believe it's one of the Greek
Okay.
Isles.
As long as we're
So
in the right area.
It's not its own nation, is what he's saying.
Okay, so we were just
what
a bit
are
outside.
the three? Malta, Cyprus, and what's the other one?
I can't think
Wasn't
of
there
another
one
one.
more? Okay.
There might be another one.
Yeah.
I
But
thought there was one more. That's okay. What's question 2?
All right, question 2. From supporting to star, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is a sequel to the original Black Panther movie coming out in November. Who is reprising her role as Princess Shuri, the sister of the Black Panther, in the sequel, which is focused more on her character, in part due to Chadwick Boseman's death?
do you know this one, Jeff?
I have an inkling.
Okay.
I am afraid that I'm not going to be able to pronounce it, though.
Give it a go.
I feel like it's
We do play by Jeopardy
I feel like
rules,
she
so if
was
you have a last
in
name, that will be acceptable.
I think she was in Us. Also, she was one of the lead actresses there.
I don't think it's Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No,
Lupita?
no, I can't remember the actress's name though. No, I think we're thinking of the same person, but that's she wasn't his sister in the movie, so I can't remember the actress's name though. So I think as a safety, we're just going to say Lupita Nyong'o, even though we think we're wrong.
Okay, good guess. She is in the movie.
Yep, she is.
I pulled the last name right.
Yep, Letitia Wright.
Letitia.
Yeah, correct answer is Letitia Wright. Okay, now on to question 3. In the category of California has mountains too. What is the tallest mountain in the 48 contiguous U.S. states? The top 10 tallest mountains in the U.S. are in Alaska, hence the category title.
The only mountain that comes to mind in California right now is Big Sur. I don't think it's the right answer, but it's my best guess if you're okay going with it.
Yep, sounds good to me.
We were going to go with Gregor Clegane, the mountain, but I think we're just going to stick with Mount St. Helens because we don't really know.
Okay, the correct answer is Mount Whitney, 14,505 feet tall.
And that's in California?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's in like Northern California, like by whatever national park you went to.
Yosemite.
It's close
Yosemite.
to Yosemite, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah. All right. Question number 4 is in the category of Bye Bye Boris. Boris Johnson resigned in July of this year. What is the name of Britain's new prime minister who was appointed 2 days before Queen Elizabeth II's death?
We can lock in.
As a good omen.
No, I was just saying this morning that I feel really terrible because I do not keep up with current events, and this is not one that I knew. If she was going to say, when she said Boris, and I was like, oh, I know that's the prime minister of. Oh, I guess not anymore. So,
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. She, I watched like a couple of her little segments of speeches of hers, and she has very odd charisma. If she has,
so to speak.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, it's just funny. That's a great descriptor. You have
Just
very
odd
odd charisma.
I want to say she has none.
But you can't recall her name.
I
The
can see her-
charisma score was...
I can see her face. I'm just trying to remember. Boy, yeah, I can't remember offhand.
That's a tap from you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, this person I hear all the time on the BBC Minutes, a minute-long little update throughout the day. I got used to it, almost going to England last year, and now I'm just kind of listening to it every day for some reason, English news. But yeah, Liz Truss.
Liz Truss. Ugh.
Yeah, correct answer. As a friend of mine said, the one with the weird curtsying, her name is Liz Truss.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That's her bio on Tinder. It's the weird curtsy and what was it, charisma?
Charisma score 8.
Odd charisma.
Yeah, odd charisma and weird
Odd
curtsy.
charisma. That's great. All right, question 5 in the category of 1900s U.S. presidents. Who is the only American president to have never actually been publicly elected president or vice president?
Yeah, we can lock in, Jeff.
So this is the plot of Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I would expect that it's somebody who took over for a vice president and then became president due to the current president's passing.
What about the dude with the flu or whatever with the speech? Whoever succeeded him?
No, you said 19th did you say 1900s or 19th century?
1900s.
1900s. So in terms of dying in office or resigning, you have Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be Ford. And you would have Johnson for Kennedy's assassination. And
oh, right.
I think that's it.
Was Johnson, he wasn't reelected after he served office, was he?
I think he might have been.
Ford,
Let's say Ford, maybe.
I like Ford.
So to answer your question, yes, Johnson was reelected. Of course, he really exacerbated Vietnam, and he pretty much lost all political goodwill. So where he could have run for a second term on his own because he hadn't served enough time, I believe they are correct. Gerald Ford was appointed by Nixon to replace Spiro Agnew. And then when Nixon himself resigned, Gerald R. Ford became the only unelected president.
Yep, that's correct. Gerald Ford. Nice job.
That's the only president question that I probably would have gotten. So I'm glad that's it. I was like, my weakness is, well, I have a lot of weaknesses, but presidents definitely is a weakness.
Mine are mostly physical.
And you're wearing a T-shirt with "We the People" on the front too.
We the people means everyone.
Amen.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
After 5, it looks like Double Jefferdy, not starring Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd, with 20 points, and The Weakest Links with 30.
All right, question 6. Category is science. What is the name of the actor who played Jesse Pinkman on the TV show Breaking Bad? He is also known for his roles in BoJack Horseman and Westworld.
I think we can lock in his best role, as far as I'm concerned, is contestant on The Price is Right.
I was just going to say that too. We can lock in over here with Aaron Paul.
Yep. We also said Aaron Paul.
Yep, Aaron Paul is correct.
And your favorite movie of his, Megan, is Need for Speed?
Do you remember that one?
Sure.
Nobody remembers that.
No one remembers that. That's why I brought it
Is it based on the video game?
Yeah.
Ew.
Did not do well.
I sunk a lot of time in Need for Speed 3, though.
Did you?
I'll tell you that.
Is it an actual game or are you just racing?
It's a racing game.
It's a racing game, but like there's police too.
So there are tasks though. You're not just like driving in a circle or anything.
No, it's you racing on a like
Timed
a
street circuit, basically.
yeah, like
Okay.
a street circuit, and there's cops.
I just love
chase you.
to think of the writers what they hired and like how are we going to make an entire movie off of this of driving cars.
That's the thing, is you could do anything.
That's
because
true.
the plot of the video game is so loose.
All right, question number 7. Last category was science, so this is called actually science. What is the hottest planet in our solar system due to a thick atmosphere that traps heat and leaves the surface around 900 degrees Fahrenheit?
Do you know, Jeff?
Well, the obvious choice being closest to the sun would be Mercury, but I'm not sure that is the correct answer.
I'm gonna lock in for us.
I say, if you trust me, I think I know it.
I will trust you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're locked in.
You saying Venus, Jeff?
I am. Hopefully you
We
guys
both-
are
we
too.
both say
or you
Venus,
tricked me
yeah.
into it.
Yeah. Because it has a runaway greenhouse effect.
That's how I
basically.
was going to describe it. Well done.
Yep, that is correct. Venus is the correct answer. Nice job.
What does runaway greenhouse mean?
So you know how we have a warming climate here on planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have the same on Venus.
Except they've been at it for a while.
Yeah. So the planet itself is just producing so much greenhouse gas that it's like basically just heated the planet to
Oh, I see.
enormous proportion.
To the point where you can boil lead on the surface.
Wow.
To be fair, it also has enormous pressure from the greenhouse gases. So
Much like Jeff's bowel. I'm sorry. All right, let's get the next one.
Awkward charisma.
Let's move on to question 8, shall we? In the category of Southern cooking, hominy is coarsely ground corn that is used to make what Southern dish?
you got this, Jeff?
I'm all set.
All right,
Yeah, I
we're
got this
gonna
one. We're
we'll
all set.
lock in.
It's got to be.
I think I know this one from my cousin Vinny, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
What the hell is a grit?
It's got to be grits.
Yeah, I
Because I
think
remember
so.
I had grits on a film set once in Atlanta for the first time, and I ate, and I was like, "What are grits?" And like, "Oh, just eat them. It doesn't matter." So I'm eating them. I'm like, it seems like there's corn in here. And I can't.
Isn't hominy what a cartoon coyote says when he sees a beautiful woman?
Hominy.
Hominy.
Yeah,
I thought that was the prayer done in Catholic services.
I'm fine with corn though. If you want to go
Homily.
or with grits, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways you can prepare it, but me being from the north, lots of butter, it's grits.
Yep, grits is the correct answer.
What's your preferred way of grits, Megan?
Butter, cheese, hot sauce.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
A savory combination.
We should do some Triviality grits because I don't know. Like I said, the last time I had it was probably like 6 years ago. So we'll try it.
All right, question number 9. Bringing it home, North Carolina sports is the category title. The NBA team, the Charlotte Hornets, were around for 14 years before moving to New Orleans and later returning in 2014, thanks to North Carolina legend Michael Jordan. From 2004 to 2014, what was the mascot of the NBA team based in Charlotte?
Do you remember when I said that presidents was my weakness? I forgot about sports.
Yeah.
I think I know this one actually, bizarrely.
I think Ken is correct because that was the name I was going to come up with, and if it's the same, we're either both wrong or we're both right.
Am I going to get a sports question right?
An NBA one to boot.
NBA? Unheard of.
So Jeff, your partner Jeff has said that the NBA is his best category.
I don't believe that either of us have said that. Oh my God. Okay, so let's see. They moved to New Orleans, became the Pelicans.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to tap.
Okay. Yeah, we couldn't come up with it. I'm curious to see what you guys said.
Maybe we just have Wildcats on the brain because we're the weakest links, but we said Bobcats.
Yeah, they were the Charlotte Bobcats
Oh.
from 2004 to 2014.
I might have known that because you know how I'm a fan of like bizarre logos and team names and colors and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I really like the Hornets logo, so I was like, whatever happened to them?
Yeah. The green and purple,
Bobcats.
like.
Boring.
Yeah, they didn't stick around for too long. Michael Jordan said we need to bring the Hornets back, and he did.
I love that Hornets logo.
The
and,
retro one.
Yeah, back in the 90s when it was like that teal or whatever, turquoise.
And purple.
I had one of those starter
Purple,
jackets.
Who didn't? I mean, that
Yeah.
was like the
That was
Barney,
the one.
the Barney Raptors,
Yeah.
like colors. Like you got to go for
So I
it.
didn't even like them. I just love the colors. And
All right, so this will be the last question of the first round. Question number 10, in the category of wild and wonderful national parks. The country's newest national park is the New River Gorge National Park and Preserve, which was established in December of 2020. New River Gorge is located in what state?
No idea. Do you know?
the New River Gorge. Well, first of all, what is a gorge?
It's like a canyon,
Okay.
kind of.
Is it like a canyon?
I think so.
Maybe we look for a state that has a lot of gorges.
Let's just say Nevada.
I like that.
I don't know. Nevada.
Home of the gorgeous gorges.
Well, in my podcast, I literally just did an episode maybe 4 weeks ago about national parks. And I know that I said the newest one when it started, but did I say where it was? I'm trying to think back into my brain of what I said. I found a lot of information about national parks. River Gorge. Something like the Tennessee
Okay.
area.
That
maybe.
makes sense to me because I was thinking maybe like West Virginia. I was kind of thinking in that like central east.
Yeah, West Virginia is a good guess.
Okay. They are the Mountaineers after all, right? Or something.
Barbara Streisand, big fan of national parks and of gorges because of her famous quote, "Hello, gorges."
Yes.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Anyways, you guys are saying West Virginia. We're saying Nevada.
Yeah, so the category was called Wild and Wonderful National Parks because on the license plate of West Virginia, it says Wild Wonderful. Correct answer is West Virginia.
Great poll, guys. All right, so at the end of the first round, Team Double Jefferdy picking up 40 extra points, bringing their total to 60. And team The Weakest Links also picking up 40 points, bringing their total to 70. So narrowing the lead there going into the swing round. Before we go to the swing round, thank you to all our patrons for helping support the show and keeping us going. If you'd like to join all of our wonderful patrons to get a bunch of extra audio content, as well as some fun, crop drops and stickers and boxes and all that good stuff, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. Anything to add, Jeff or Ken, on that note?
That is all.
Thank you both. Megan, what do you have in store for us today with the swing round?
Sure. So I'm going to give you all a short summary of a classic work of either American, British, or French literature. There might be some of my opinion sprinkled in there. I'm also going to give you the year that the book was written in. I want you to name the title of the book that I'm describing.
Cool.
All right. Sounds good enough.
Okay. Number 1, the year 1856, a French book about a woman who has 2 affairs because she thinks that her husband is boring. Number 2, 1813, a book about a pouty man who eventually wins over the whip-smart girl after wearing her down and ignoring their differences in wealth. Number 3, 1952, a sad book about fishing and cutting your losses. Number 4, 1844, a French book about revenge, parading a life of excess and love that doesn't end the way you think and has a surprisingly casual mention of cross-dressing. Number 5, 1850, an American book about the love of a sweet, devoted woman and the dismal, pious man she happens to love. Number 6, 1954, a British book about privileged boys who suddenly have to work together. Imagine that. They solve their problems the old-fashioned way, through power and violence. If the storyline had featured young girls instead, I wonder if things would have happened differently. Number 7, 1818, a book about a crazed doctor who ignores his son, who he never even names. Number 8, 1925, a book about a dream-chasing man who throws lavish parties in the hopes that his ex will show up. Number 9, 1960, a book about how we should not hurt anything innocent, but we do, because people really stink sometimes. And then number 10, 1949, a book about a man who eventually admits he loves his big brother, even though his brother treated him poorly.
All right, we have the descriptions. We'll be right back with our answers.
Hello everyone, Stakuyi here.
And I'm Gabby.
And we are the hosts of History of Everything, a podcast which you can probably guess by the name is, it's about everything. Do you want to know why people thought potatoes were evil and would give you syphilis? Are you curious about all the stories of the terrible and stupid ways that people have kicked the bucket over the years? Do you want to hear tales about all of the different badasses of history and the lives that they had brought to life? Well, if so, then look no further. History of Everything is just the right podcast for you. It's available on Spotify, Pandora, and anywhere else that you get your podcast from. Join us for some fun and just see how weird and wacky history can be.
The Unbiased Science Podcast is devoted to objective, critical appraisal of evidence on health topics relevant to listeners' daily lives. I'm Dr. Jess Steyer, a public health scientist with expertise in public health policy, biostatistics, and advanced analytics.
And I'm Dr. Andrea Love, an immunologist and microbiologist with expertise in infectious disease immunology, cancer immunology, and autoimmunity. And together, we are the hosts of the podcast.
The goal of the Unbiased Science Podcast is to dispel misinformation and misconceptions across an array of science and public health topics. We love to debunk myths and help arm our listeners with information so they can make evidence-based decisions.
We hope you'll tune in to the Unbiased Science Podcast, your trusted source for no-nonsense, just science. New episodes air every other Wednesday, so make sure to mark your calendars.
All the answers from the swing round are now locked in. Let's throw it back to Megan and hear those clues one more time.
Sure. The first one is from the year 1856, a French book about a woman who has 2 affairs because she thinks her husband is boring.
Here's one I remember reading in high school. And Jeff says it's not French, but it seemed kind of French to me. We said The Awakening.
Yeah, so we were thinking that it was a double identity thing, and so we went with Madame Bovary.
Yeah, correct answer is Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert.
I believe Chopin was from Louisiana, which I think is where you're getting the French from. Yeah.
All right, and then the second one is from 1813, a book about a pouty man who eventually wins over the whip-smart girl after wearing her down and ignoring their differences in wealth.
Ken held my hand when we wrote this answer, and my other hand was straining in just nerves, and we locked in with Pride and Prejudice.
We two said Pride and Prejudice.
That's right, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen.
So a little quick story from high school. I played Mr. Collins in Pride and Prejudice, the creepy.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what you'd call him, like a man of the clergy who was trying to chase after Elizabeth Bennet. And I did a really weird accent, but I stayed in character the entire time.
Did you do that one accent that I like?
Which one?
It smells of coriander.
It was close to that. This is literally my accent, and I would not drop the accent while we performed all week. And I was like, "Hello, ladies, it's Mr. Collins here."
That's the one. That's the one.
So I did that accent, and then that was the play that during rehearsals, my friend threw a long football pass, and I ran full speed into a tree.
Do the line that I love.
His perfume smelled of almonds and coriander.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right, question 3. The year is 1952, a sad book about fishing and cutting your losses.
We said The Old Man and the Sea.
We also went with The Old Man and the Sea.
Yes, The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. All right, number 4, 1844, a French book about revenge parading a life of excess and love that does not end the way you think and has a surprisingly casual mention of cross-dressing.
I believe this is Count of Monte Cristo. We were having trouble placing the cross-dressing, and then it occurred to me I think there's some ladies dressing as men in that. So,
yeah, just based on the approximate year and the word revenge and French, we said Count of Monte Cristo.
That is correct. Count of Monte Cristo, Alexander Dumas. Yeah, the cross-dressing is a very minor character. A lady who's supposed to get married and she doesn't want to. She runs away and she's dressed as a man. So it's very minor. Yeah. All right, number 5, 1850, an American book about the love of a sweet, devoted woman and the dismal, pious man she happens to love.
This one we were kind of discussing back and forth. We were kind of latching on to the word pious, and we just thought the time period seemed right, so we said Scarlet Letter.
We also went with The Scarlet Letter.
Yes, the dismal, pious man is Reverend Dimsdale, The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. That's correct.
Neil, is that why your back tattoo is the giant A?
It is. It is because of that book specifically.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. All right, number 6, 1954. A British book about privileged boys who suddenly have to work together. Imagine that. They solve their problems the old-fashioned way through violence and power. If the storyline had featured young girls instead, I wonder if things would have happened differently.
Not as happy as the SpongeBob episode with the magic conch, but we said Lord of the Flies.
Can I have it now so I can talk? No?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Lord of the Flies.
Yep, Lord of the Flies, William Golding. That's correct. Nice. Number 7, 1818. A book about a crazed doctor who ignores his son, who he never even names.
Frankenstein. With modern Prometheus.
Yeah, we also picked up on the clue about not naming your son, and we also went with Frankenstein.
Yes, that's correct. Frankenstein, Mary Shelley. Indeed. Just called him the creature the entire book. So,
But
didn't really have a name.
like Matt with all of us when we record.
Yeah.
All right. Number 8, 1925, a book about a dream-chasing man who throws lavish parties in the hopes that his ex will show up.
A book I casually read in one fell swoop last year while substitute teaching, Great Gatsby.
Yeah, we agree. We said The Great Gatsby.
All right. Thank you for substitute teaching as a public school teacher. Correct answer is The Great Gatsby.
It's great.
By F. Scott Fitzgerald.
It's great to do that because then when the kids complain about like having to read a chapter, just be like, I just read the whole book today. So just do it.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Number 9, 1960, a book about how we should not hurt anything innocent, but we do because people really stink sometimes.
We tossed around To Kill a Mockingbird, but eventually we went with Silent Spring.
Yeah, we actually just landed on To Kill a Mockingbird, so that's our answer.
Correct answer is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. All right, last one, number 10, 1949. A book about a man who eventually admits he loves his big brother, even though his brother treated him poorly.
We didn't know this one, and I think we missed a joke. But we said Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, I remember the book being written in a square, which is pretty heavily security ridden now, and we said 1984.
Yep, 1984 by George Orwell, indeed.
Man, Big Brother was a nice clue there.
Yep, Big Brother, indeed. And then it was written in 1948, going back to what y'all were talking about, published in 1949.
Yeah, I always remember the published year because I just invert the 8 and the 4.
After the swing round, it looks like team The Weakest Links is only going to pick up 35 points, bringing our total to 105. But Double Jefferdy playing perfect that round, picking up 50 points, bringing their total to 110 and a lead going into the second round.
But don't worry, guys, you're not too far behind. So not yet ready to say that's the way the sausage crumbles.
All right, round 2, question number 11. Let's start round 2 with a bang. What is the name of the pub in the 2004 movie Shaun of the Dead that he and his roommate say they should go to during a zombie outbreak to grab a pint and wait for this all to blow over?
Just rewatched this movie a couple months ago.
Yeah, we're good.
Love Edgar Wright. Jeff, do you know this one?
I don't, so go right ahead.
All right. First, we're gonna get Mom, and then blah 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 blah. We're gonna go to the Winchester, where
Dogs can look up.
I believe where the soup of the day is bread.
That's Hot Fuzz.
I know.
Yeah, the Winchester.
Yes, correct answer is Winchester, which is why we said let's start round 2 with a bang. Number 12, category is called a Himalayan kingdom. What is the name of the tiny landlocked country that is surrounded by China and India? Bangladesh and Nepal are nearby, but they do not share a border.
Yeah, Jeff and I are going to lock in an answer here. I think we're in agreement.
I love that it sounds like
Geography.
he's playing with himself.
Yeah. Geography
That's the title of my
is
section.
Jeff's subject. I think he over-explained a previous question on one of our other games and might have revealed that the other landlocked country in this region might be Bhutan.
Okay.
So that's what we'll say.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, we also went with Bhutan.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yes, Bhutan is correct.
I think we were talking about their flag because it's the one with the dragon on it.
No, we were talking about landlocked countries.
Oh, no, that was doubly landlocked. We were talking about...
Yeah.
So Jeff's over-explaining helped us.
Yes.
Good.
In the future.
In the future.
All right, question 13. The category is not your average college meal. Tonkatsu ramen is a type of ramen dish that typically is stewed with and features what protein?
You good, Jeff?
I'm good. I ordered tonkotsu like once a week.
Yeah, so I was working at a ramen restaurant over the pandemic and delivering to Jeff tonkotsu ramen about once a week. So pork.
Yep, we locked in with pork.
Pork is correct. All right, question 14 in the category of sports. David Ortiz, also called Big Papi, is one of the most famous MLB players of the last 20 years. He famously played 13 successful seasons for the Boston Red Sox. He did, however, play for 5 seasons with a different team from 1997 to 2002. What was this team?
Neal, care to lock in?
I can lock in for us. I'm trying to think. I just always associate him with Boston, but we'll lock in.
I'll take a stab. I'm going to say the Baltimore Orioles because I have no idea.
I always associate Big Papi with the Red Sox, so I'm not too sure. I know I should know this. I'm just going to go with an American League team because I feel like I don't remember him being in the National League. So we're going to say he was a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. I think they're in the American League. I don't know.
I think so.
All right. Correct answer was the Minnesota Twins.
Ooh, so
Oh.
close.
Just over the border.
All right. Number 15 in the category of nostalgic television. What sitcom starred Suzanne Summers and Patrick Duffy in a Midwestern take on the Brady Bunch? The show ran for 7 seasons from 1991 to 1998.
Jeff, looks like you and I are both in on this. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
I spent many a year living in a van in my uncle's backyard. So
Down by the river?
Just step by step.
Day by day, yeah. Step by step.
This was like the one that I didn't want to watch in that TGF lineup.
Yeah, it was definitely in that really great TGIF lineup with Family Matters and whatever else was on there. I can't remember. Full House at one point. But yeah, Step by Step for sure.
So yeah, we also went with Step by Step.
Yes, that is correct. Step by step.
Patrick Duffy. I think they did a fun thing with him on, was it Robot Chicken or South Park, maybe, I'm thinking. Anyway, after 5 questions in the second round, the teams are staying equal, both picking up 40 points, which brings the Double Jefferdy to 150 and us over here at the Weakest Links at 145.
All right. Number 16. The category is called The Day Alaska Turned Blue. What is the name of the Democratic politician who defeated Sarah Palin for the Alaskan Congressional House of Representatives seat in the beginning of September?
No. I saw so much news about this, and I read every article, and I just don't even know.
I did too. I
like
feel
me
bad.
with Liz Truss.
I was engaging in more Schadenfreude watching the disappointment video of the realization that they lost. But
I'm well informed, and I just can't
Yeah.
remember names.
I can't remember names either.
I'm trying to. She is a native Alaskan, and oh my God, what is her name? It's her first name is Mary. Her first name is Mary. Oh, I remember. Mary Peltola.
Okay,
Cool.
Mary Peltola.
that's what we're gonna lock in with.
Good poll. We can't remember, so we're out. Johnson.
Yeah, that was a great poll, Jeff. Correct answer, Mary Peltola.
Very nice.
Wow, Politola of the game.
I hate that that's the way I'm gonna remember it.
That's my job.
All right, question 17 in the category of Southern agriculture. Former President Jimmy Carter was known for many things, including that he came from a farming family in Georgia. The Carter family ran a farm growing what product?
Love it. One I actually know about presidents.
Peanuts.
I like to raise peanuts.
Neil was born in Georgia,
I was
so
on a peanut farm. That's why I'm
in
not.
downtown Atlanta in a hospital.
Oh, the room, it's a ward. It's just all made of
It
peanuts.
was full of peanut bags.
Yeah.
Of course, it was full of peanuts. There was all little kids in there, little peanuts.
What?
Do you not also call children peanuts in an endearing fashion?
I feel like if Jeff was a politician and he went to like events, he'd be like, "Oh, look at this little peanut."
I
I
over
feel like
here."
he'd be arrested.
Going 1968 Democratic National Convention on people.
The man will not stop kissing children on the head. Did you go peanuts as well, Jeff?
Jeff, I believe we were in agreement. It was peanuts. Yeah.
All right, we're all peanuts here.
Yep, correct answer is peanuts.
Do you think a peanut farm smells like something? Do peanuts smell? I don't know.
I don't think they have much of an odor, especially if they're like shelled peanuts.
Is this where you garden peanut butter?
Unshelled.
Unshelled peanut butter?
Not deshelled. Whatever that word is. Peanuts.
We know nothing about
I think
peanuts here.
Isn't it shelled? Like
I think
You
shelled
you
means
shell
remove them, right? So I don't know what
Oh,
they're
right,
called
yeah,
when
yeah.
they're not shelled yet.
Husked.
Whole.
Pre-shelled.
Yeah, whole.
Shucked.
Whole peanuts. That's the word. Thanks, Megan.
Apologies to all of our peanut farmers who listen to the show who are just rolling in their podcast rooms.
They're peanuts.
They're peanuts.
And their peanut money.
All right, question number 18. The category is called I'm Gonna Need Another Drink. My fiance Ryan has been homebrewing since the start of the pandemic in 2020, so this question is directly from him. Which specific ingredient determines the difference between an ale and a lager?
My first thought is hops. Does that sound right?
Well, yeah, I was thinking. So an IPA, a pale ale is very hoppy and it has hops, but I don't know if it was a lager. Is that what we said? A lager?
Yeah.
No, a lager. I don't know if lagers have hops in them, but I do know that ales do.
Are you comfortable going with that? Because I don't know much about beer.
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to lock
I'm good.
in with hops.
I would think that they both have hops as like the base, but I think lager might have the addition of wheat. So we said wheat.
All right, so the correct answer is the type of yeast.
Oh.
Oh. I was like, they both have yeast, right?
They do. It's just so apparently bottom fermenting yeast is what's used in a lager, and top fermenting yeast
Ah.
is what's used in an ale.
Interesting.
So does your fiance, he makes different types of home brews now. Are you sampling all of them?
Oh yes, it's been a lot of fun.
And does he have like really cool names for them at all yet, or no?
No, we're keeping it pretty vanilla because he's not trying to, market it or sell it anywhere. So he's just like, this is a cherry wheat.
But
And
you
I'm like,
you gotta name it. That's the
what
best
name is
part.
that?
That's the
Yeah,
best part.
exactly.
Well,
I agree.
maybe both of you and ask him too. Like maybe you can name one after Triviality somehow, and it'll be our official,
Oh yeah.
our official brew.
Maybe a Netherlands style Dutch boy.
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Neal's favorite, of course, is a Pilsner, baby.
That's great. All right, so our next beer is going to be Triviality representing. That
Sounds
good.
great.
All right, cool. Number 19 is in the category of good old North Carolina boys. What is the name of the Southern folk rock band known for such songs as No Hard Feelings, Murder in the City, and I and Love and You? They are originally from Concord, North Carolina, outside of Charlotte.
All right, so we really don't have a good idea on this one, so we're just gonna lock in with some trash tier.
What comes to mind?
So I don't know. I wasn't thinking something old. I was actually thinking something more modern, like because that's been more. There's like been a lot of resurgence of like folk, country rock bands, and so I don't know why, and I don't know where they're from, but like the style, and maybe this will help. Like maybe you'll get some ideas from it. But I was thinking like the Lumineers.
Okay.
You know how there's like a lot of like banjos and a lot of like, but it's
honestly,
rock.
I'm fine with that. All the Southern rock bands I was thinking of in the 70s, none of them came out of North Carolina. I could think of a few from Georgia and even a couple from like Louisiana and Florida and all that. But yeah, if you want to go like something like that more modern, I think that's a perfectly good way to go. So
Okay. Yeah, then I guess we'll go with the Lumineers.
Yep, we wrote down the Lumineers, but unsure. We also wrote down Alabama Shakes, thinking the name was kind of a joke, but we went with Lumineers.
Okay, so no points here. The correct answer is the Avett Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've heard of them. Every time I used to go into Starbucks, actually, I think when I worked there, they were always hawking Avett Brothers albums.
Okay.
Yeah.
it's a good guess though.
But we all know the best band from North Carolina. He is legend.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Charlie Daniels,
No, he is legend.
who wrote Devil Went Down to Georgia.
Is this your favorite band, Megan?
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. They're great. They're awesome.
Awesome.
All right, well, number 20 is in the category of Sweet Chili O' Mine Burger of the Day. Bob's Burgers is one of my favorite shows, so of course I had to
Oh my
include a
God.
question referencing Bob's Burgers.
Lynn, kids, please.
The show features a family of 5 as they try to run a burger restaurant in coastal New Jersey. Of the 5 main members of the Belcher family, which of the characters is the only one who's voiced by a woman? I need the character name, but I'll give you a bonus 5 points if you know the voice actress's name as well.
I can put you out of your agony, Jeff. I've got both.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Give me 1 second.
Although I want to see if the name in my head is the right one or not. So
I know the actress's name, but I don't watch the show whatsoever.
It's this. I feel like it's like K something S. S last name.
Wait, Kristen Shaw.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
KS.
KS.
Son of a bee.
All right, so we have locked in with Louise as the character and Kristen Schaal as the actress after some thought.
Yeah. All of the others are voiced by men, including Tina, who's my favorite. And we said Louise Belcher, who's voiced by Kristen Schaal.
Oh my God, kids, please.
Ken doing his best H. John Benjamin over there.
It's extra good today because I'm a little sick.
Yep, the correct answer is Kristen Schaal. Louise is the character name. So Louise Kristen Schaal is the actress's name. Nice job.
At the end of regulation, it looks like Team The Weakest Links picking up 25 points, which includes the 5 bonus points of the last question, bringing our total to 170. But furthering their lead going into the final round is Double Jefferdy, who picked up 35 points, including that bonus question, bringing their total to 185. So what are our categories, Megan, for the final?
Yes. So the 5 categories are Washington, Minnesota, Colorado, Virginia, and North Carolina.
The wagers are now in for the categories, and we're going 15s all the way down at Team Links. And the other team, the Jeffs, 30s all the way down.
We'll see which strategy pays off.
So I hope these are hard.
Washington is the category. What famous African-American musician from Seattle, Washington, was known here in the States for his famous covers and being a member of the 27 Club? He achieved more success in the UK during his short career. Number 2, Minnesota. Minnesota is a beautiful state, known for its many lakes and naturally preserved areas. There are many state parks in Minnesota, but only one national park, which is close to the Canadian border. What is the name of that one national park in Minnesota? I would love to go on a trip to this park. Number 3, Colorado. Colorado obviously has many beautiful mountains that make it a popular destination for outdoor recreational activities. There are many 14ers in the state, meaning mountains that are more than 14,000 feet tall. How many 14ers are in the state? And I'll give you a plus or minus 6 for this one. Number 4, Virginia. Virginia obviously had a strong influence in colonial times as it has been home to many presidents. Specifically, how many U.S. presidents have been born in Virginia? Half of them were founding fathers, and I'll give you plus or minus 1 for this one. All right, number 5, North Carolina. What is the name of the country's longest running outdoor drama, which has been playing in Manteo, North Carolina since 1937? The play depicts the first settlement in the United States, which was ultimately unsuccessful. The play title alludes to the nickname of this colony. State legend Andy Griffith spent a few summers starring in it as Sir Walter Raleigh.
All right, those are the questions, and we'll be right back with the answers.
Welcome to the future in this year's wildest, super fun show for adults.
Hey gang, it's Josh Olson.
And Joe Dante.
And we want to tell you about our podcast. It's about movies.
Josh, there are 1,000 podcasts about movies.
Sure, but ours is different, Joe.
That's true, actually. Our guests are writers, directors, musicians, comedians, actors.
Hell, we even have other podcasters on.
We play no favorites, and they don't talk so much about their own work, but about the movies that have influenced them and made them who they are. We call it The Movies That Made Me.
We've talked with people like Guillermo del Toro, Little Stevie Van Zandt, Martin Short, Ethan Hawke, William Friedkin, Barbara Crampton, Jonathan Ross, Dennis Lehane, Mark Duplass, Adam McKay, Lorraine Newman, Jason Reitman, Alison Anders, Elijah Wood, Stephen Canals, Eli Roth, Joe Bob Briggs, Roger Corman, Bobcat Goldthwait, Ileana Douglas, Dana Gould, Martin Campbell, Shane Black, Albert Hughes, Emily Deschanel, Jill Biafra, Larry Fessenden, Nicole Housen, Shaka King, Lee Daniels, Rosalind Chow, Clancy Brown, Yardley Smith, Ike Barinholtz, Steve Arquette, Thomas Welton, Gina Prince, Lightfoot, and Uwe Boll.
It may not be highbrow, but it's lots of fun.
Subscribe for free on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
In color to thrill you as never before.
At a time when change is constant and we are pulled in far too many directions, we need a way to stay present to life and to increase our ability to remain calm, think clearly, and maintain our well-being. Many studies indicate mindfulness improves our mental, emotional, and physical health. On A Mindful Moment with Teresa McKee, you can learn how to practice mindfulness and enjoy its many benefits. Tune in for guided meditations and to hear tips and advice from some of the most respected experts in the fields of mental health and mindfulness. the world truly can be a better place. It all starts with a mindful moment.
Hey people, guess what? We're back and we have our answers. So let's have the questions one more time, see how we did. I think it's going to be another big L for the links.
Spoiler alert.
It felt like a real nice fireside chat. Like, hey y'all, how you doing?
Let's talk about the state of things. Read some poetry.
All right. Well, speaking of the state of things, our categories were all states. These were specifically states that I traveled to in the last year. So I wanted to give a shout out. Yeah. Yeah. North Carolina, though, I mean, I had to include that just because it's my home state and everything. So the first one is Washington. What famous African American musician from Seattle was known here for his famous covers and being a member of the 27 Club? He achieved more success in the UK during his short career.
Yeah, we wagered 15 all the way down, as Ken said before. We think this is a person who was always part of an experience. We said Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, we also thought with the 27 Club and African American, we went with Jimi Hendrix.
Yes, that is correct. Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, we went to Seattle. Ryan and I went to Seattle for spring break last year, and we went to the Pop Culture Museum that's there, which was amazing. Totally worth every penny. And there was a section for Jimi Hendrix, and we had no clue that he was from there. And it was really awesome. We got to see his guitar from Woodstock and everything. It was great.
Nice. That's awesome. And I believe a friend of mine sent a picture from the Pop Culture Museum. They actually carry Being Patrick Swayze there. So you can find it there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You wrote a book?
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it in a
Feels
while.
like it's been years.
All right, let's get the next one.
Sure. Number 2, Minnesota. Minnesota is a beautiful state known for its many lakes and naturally preserved areas. There are many state parks in Minnesota, but only one national park, which is close to the Canadian border. What is the name of that one national park in Minnesota? I would love to go on a trip to this park.
So she said, I'd love to go on a trip. So we said maybe something Falls. Since we couldn't think of a clever answer, we just said Sioux Falls.
That's funny. I like it.
Sioux Falls, not in Minnesota, but that's okay.
Yeah, so we also kind of picked up on the clue, but Jeff got this one, and we think it's Voyageurs National Park.
Named after the Star Trek.
Yeah, correct answer is Voyageurs National Park.
Okay, good to know.
Indeed. All right. Number 3, Colorado. Colorado obviously has many beautiful mountains that make it a popular destination for outdoor recreational activities. There are many 14ers in the state, meaning mountains that are more than 14,000 feet tall. How many 14ers are in the state? And I'm giving you a plus or minus 6 for this one.
Boy, no idea. So we just kind of did the game theory guess and said 46.
Yeah, we also didn't have a solid number, so we went with 60.
All right, Double Jefferdy is getting the points
Get
here. Correct answer is 58. So the range of 52 to 64 is okay with me.
Future's looking bleak, Neal.
It's looking very bleak.
Finding your way down to Bleecker Street.
There you go.
All right, our 4th question is Virginia. Virginia obviously had a strong influence in colonial times as it has been home to many presidents. Specifically, how many U.S. presidents have been born in Virginia? Half of them were founding fathers, plus or minus 1.
We guessed 4 were founding fathers, and we multiplied it by 2, and we said 8.
Yep, we also went with 8.
Yes, 8 is the correct number. Nice job. So those 8 who were born in Virginia, not necessarily grew up in Virginia, but born in Virginia, were George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, Zachary Taylor, and Woodrow Wilson. All right. And then our last question, North Carolina. What is the name of the country's longest running outdoor drama, which has been playing in Manteo, North Carolina since 1937? The play depicts the first settlement in the United States, which was ultimately unsuccessful. The play title alludes to the nickname of this colony. State legend Andy Griffith spent a few summers starring in it as Sir Walter Raleigh.
Now I hear a nickname in the question, so we're probably not right, but we thought the play could simply be called Roanoke, maybe with like an exclamation point at the end.
Yeah, and a lot of whistling.
Yeah.
We weren't 100% sure, but we think that it might have the nickname of the Lost Colony. So we went with the Lost Colony.
Correct answer is the Lost Colony. Nice job. Yeah, I grew up on the beautiful Outer Banks of North Carolina, watched this play every summer. Went to a camp for this play one summer that had all the actors and crew members, and as kids you put on your own mini version of the play, and I just had to share this story. I was in like 8th grade, my sister was in 6th grade, and she was cast as Queen Elizabeth, very royal and regal, and I was cast as Old Tom, who was the town drunk.
Who had more lines though?
She did, but I had more time. I had more laughs out of the
There
crowd.
you go.
So,
And now you have your own.
Your sister was going for gasps because laughs are cheap.
Well, and your sister didn't grow up to have your own homebrew at home, so now you can actually be the town drunk if you wanted. Yeah.
Megan also has a weird habit of going around and just carving random things into trees. So.
At the end of the game, it looks like the weakest links, unfortunately, didn't have enough claw power to claw back into this game. We lost 15 points in the final round, bringing our total to 155. And today, it looks like Double Jefferdy picking up 150 points, batting perfect in the final round, bringing their score to 335 points, which means they are today's cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better.
Well done, Jeff. Thank you for being an excellent teammate. You had some excellent pulls in there.
You can't stand up to that kind of power, Neal, you know?
You can't.
Not double Jefferdy.
Not two Jeffs.
Single Jefferdy, maybe.
One Jeff you could take down, maybe. Two Jeffs.
Double Jefferdy. And Jeff, we loved having you here, and it was so much fun having you on the show.
Not you, Jeff.
Oh,
you,
I was going to say thank you.
Not our Jeff. But we'd love for you to, if you have any final words or shout-outs, obviously we're going to be checking out BeQuiz I Said So, and we'd love to have you back on one of our Patreon bonuses to test if we are as smart as the elementary students who possibly listen to your show. But yeah, any final words from you?
Thank you so much for having me on here. I've been looking forward to doing this for quite a while. And yeah, check out BeQuiz I Said So wherever you can find your podcasts. And if this episode happens to air before November, then I encourage everyone, please register and vote like your life depends on it, because some of them do.
Thank you. Wise advice for everyone listening at home. And Megan, thank you so much for putting together this game. Such great questions across a wide range of topics. We loved it. Anyone you'd like to shout out to? Any final words?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. This has been a lot of fun. I've been listening since 2018, so this was fun to finally write a game and come on the show. This has been great. Yeah, it's been nice to put a face to all your voices that I've been hearing for the past 4 years. So giving a shout out to my fiance Ryan, who's downstairs, and our dog Lily, of course. My friend Caitlin, who introduced me to all of y'all and got us started with writing and setting up this game. Shout out to Caitlin. Team Redundancy team, my team back home, and my coworker friends Claire and Matt, who are listening in and who introduced me to the show in the first place. So thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, thank you to all of those wonderful people who we know and who hopefully we'll meet in the near future. Please tell Ryan to get working on that Triviality brew for us. That'd be great.
Got it.
But yeah, thank you both for joining us today. We do want to mention this podcast is part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. If you want to go and listen to some other great shows like Good Job Brain, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, as well as shows like Redacted History and The Movies That Made Me. You can go to airwavemedia.com to listen and subscribe and join us over there. We're so excited to be part of the network. And that's going to be our show for today. So thank you to Jeff and Megan for joining us. For Matt, Jeff, and Ken, my name is Neal, and we will see you next time on Triviality.
I think I came up with the name for the beer. It's Lowbrow.
That perfectly describes our show.
Sorry, y'all cut out there.
Yeah, you cut out.
Scarlet Letter.
Scarlet Letter.
Scarlet Letter.
Not back yet.
Scarlet Letter. Scarlet Letter.
Okay,
Scarlet
okay,
Letter.
Now we can hear you.
There we go.
Okay.